Stay with us. And joining me in studio now is Mr. Dean James. He is the CEO of a company called Imaging 3 Incorporated. Dean, good to have you on your program.
Thanks for having me, Don.
Well, now, Dean, your company are basically in the final stages of FDA approval of a breakthrough medical technology. It's an imaging device called Dominion. I'm fascinated by this, the research that I've done and the images that I've seen at your website, imaging3.com. Tell us about Dominion.
Well, the Dominion is it's a mobile device. It's a circular gantry system. It uses X-ray technology. It scans around the body in 360 degrees every 0.2 to 0.8 of a second. It takes those images and places them into a 3D construct and then updates them again every 0.2 to 0.8 of a second thereafter. It's real-time, three-dimensional imaging, volumetric imaging, giving you, we're in 3 dimensions as human beings. It gives you that information, both depth and direction simultaneously, to assist doctors not only in diagnosis, but in performing procedures like minimally invasive surgical techniques or spinal surgery or vascular surgery.
Well, you know, when I read about how mobile this unit was, how small it was, how it could get into a healthcare facility through the front door, plug in the regular 110 outlet, I challenged you. I said, fine, bring it in the studio. You brought it in the studio. We've got some great footage that was shot before going on the air. Tell us what we're looking at.
Well, absolutely. It's a small circular gantry. It has the footprint of roughly a mobile fluoroscopic C-arm. It can move within a surgical suite or within a patient's room, actually, and take images, on the fly. It doesn't have a small bore hole like you see with CT or MR scanners where claustrophobia is actually an issue. It's a large bore, so you have access to the patient. You can be able to image them directly in any view that the physicians are accustomed to using it for.
Well, I was amazed, too, because when your delivery people arrived with it, it really only took them about 5 or 10 minutes to get it off the truck into the studio, and it took us no time at all to get ready to shoot it.
Well, like I said, it's truly mobile device. It plugs into regular 110 power. You don't have to break any walls down. You don't need some exotic 3-phase power. Our system, will be moved throughout a facility. It could be used in the OR, part of the day and wheeled down to the ER or into an interventional lab. That's one of the benefits of this device, is that it's not only is it cost effective, it's about 1/3 the cost of a standard CT scanner. It's a mobile device that can be used throughout a facility. It's not set to just be a fixed room system, which can only do so many patients per day.
I see. What's the significant, Dean, to the patient of having the data available in real time?
Well, there's a big significant. It reduces the trauma to the patient. It gives the physician more information, which increases the accuracy of the procedures being performed on the patient, as well as the physician's ability to perform that procedure more effectively and faster. So we're giving, the physician a device that gives them complete information of the human body in 360 degrees instantaneously in less than a second, as well as the portability to be able to use this throughout the facility. But it increases the physician's accuracy in performing procedures, as well as increases their throughput, thus allowing them to be able to perform more procedures more safely.
So basically, if I understand exactly what you're saying, a surgeon using a device could perform much less invasive procedures because they can see their work and still know where they are in the body, so to speak, without having to get into, large open scarring and that type of thing.
Well, the future of medicine is towards minimally invasive surgical techniques. Just take 10 years ago, getting your gallbladder removed. They'd have to cut you open, do a massive procedure to you, pull it out, and you'd be in hospital for about a month. Now they can do it minimally invasive. They cut a couple holes in you, guide it through an imaging device like this, and pull it out, and you're back to work in a few days.
Wow.
Spinal surgery, vascular surgery, where they're placing catheters in the body, or in spinal surgery where they're putting devices to aid your spine, keep it stable. They're doing all these things more minimally invasive because they don't want to have hospital stays, long hospital stays for the in the hospital for the patient, which gives them increased trauma and risk for having side effects to anesthesia and other aspects.
And I just imagine that, looking at this Dominion again, and looking at the footage that we have here that you brought it in for us, as you mentioned, the bore is so much larger. I mean, you go into an MRI machine, you're going into a tiny little tunnel, and especially a guy my size, I mean, I'm touching almost all sides of it. this is not present here. I mean, so for the patient, it must be much more comfortable to go through this procedure.
Well, absolutely. You know, again, there is that factor, where the patient feels claustrophobic. You know, ask anyone that's had an MR done. You know, you're in this little borehole. You feel like, they leave you alone in the room, and you hear this banging noise, and you're a little intimidated by that. But this device comes in, and there's plenty of space within them. And our patients today are getting a little larger than normal, and having a bigger bore helps for that as well. Larger patients.
Sure. Now, I know at the end of 2008, the company attended a radiological conference. I think it was in Chicago. And I remember talking to you before we went on the air. You guys said you were the darling of the show. Tell us about that.
Well, yes, absolutely. It's RSNA, Radiological Society of North America. It's held in Chicago after Thanksgiving. It's attended by 70,000 physicians from all over the world. And we were definitely the darling of the show, being visited by thousands of physicians. Even the vendors that were at the show were showing up at our booth, amazed with our technology. It's important for us to be at those. That's where we get our leads for sales. And we've generated quite a bit of interest and quite a bit of sales leads for those through those shows. Yeah.
Again, we're talking with Imaging 3 Incorporated. If you'd like to see some remarkable images of what the Dominion can do, go to their website at imaging3.com. That's imaging3.com. Now, Dean, I would think that trauma centers, pain management centers, even cardiovascular applications would be what this thing is just perfect for. I mean, are these some of the ideas that you folks have in mind?
Well, absolutely. And there's even minimally invasive cancer treatment technologies that are in development right now, where they're doing higher-end, faster cancer treatments using a narrow beam, where they'll take our technology, be able to generate 3D imagery to help guide those procedures. As again, I said, the future of medicine is going towards minimally invasive techniques, to increase the speed of the procedure, to decrease the trauma to the patient. Our device is geared perfectly for that. And I think you'll see plenty of other new avenues and techniques that this will be used for.
Now, you're basically in this kind of a mode, and I'll kind of try to describe it for our audience. You're waiting for a cell phone call, an email, or a FedEx package telling you that FDA approval has been granted. I mean, that's kind of where you're at right now, isn't it?
That's right. That's right. It's been a long process, longer than what I've intended it or what I expected it to be. But, again, this is my fifth 510K. It's not something that I have no experience with, and again, it's not really a question of will we get the FDA approval. It's just really a matter of time right now.
For people who are wanting more information about the Dominion, more information about Imaging 3, best place to go is the website?
Absolutely. Imaging3.com. That's the best place to get our information.
Once again, Imaging 3 Incorporated. We've been talking about their medical imaging device, Dominion, which certainly represents to be the future of medical imaging, 3D, real time. For more information, please go to their website, imaging3.com. That's imaging3.com. Dean, a pleasure having you on. Looking forward to more updates, especially I want to get the second phone call after you get approval.
You will get the second one. Thanks, Don.
Thanks so much. Take care.